Hey, so we're at day 13 now, so I think it is day 12 or 13. So it's been another long day, not a lot of great sort of progress along the trail. Been okay. Started out early this morning when I left Cripple, so I got into Cripple last night. The winds really started picking up, the temperature started to drop. It was either do my drop bag there, sort my stuff out and then push for about 3 hours and bivvy in the middle of wherever, or I could stay there inside a tent and sleep for 6 hours and then get up a little bit earlier. So I decided to get a sleep there, got up a bit earlier, went outside, really clear night, got to see some more northern lights. Made really good going for the first sort of 10 miles, then it sort of a lot of snowdrift, a lot more wind came in. It's been pretty slow going. I think I'm about 30 miles now. I'm hoping to get 40 before I go to bed tonight, so another 10 miles tonight during the dark, which shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too hard to get that. And that gives me 33 miles tomorrow to get before I hit Ruby. So I'll get that done. Hit Ruby, and that'll be the end of sort of a 140 mile stretch between the last village and Ruby of just nothing, and then probably 50 miles before that of next to nothing. So a long 4 or 5 days of literally passing only a few mushes. So hoping to get that out and finished by tomorrow, and then the Yukon, the trail down the Yukon will be a lot faster, so I'll make better time, more villages, hit the coast, and then it's up into Nome. So coming to the end of what is probably the hardest part, leaving McGrath to Ruby. So looking forward to get that out of the way and then get on with a little bit more scenic racing.
So coming out of Cripple, it was actually a really nice morning. There was some really nice northern lights for about an hour or two, and then we kind of got going in the dark. So it was really easy going to begin with, so making really good time. And over the first sort of 4 hours, we covered that 10 mile really well. So I was pretty confident I'd be able to hit whatever it was. It was around about that 40 mile mark or 41 mile. So a few more mushes coming past and kind of broke up the day a little bit. But then at around about the 20 mile mark, the track started to deteriorate and it started to get quite hilly and really started slowing down. It kind of made it feel like it was going to be a real struggle to get to that shelter. So you start to get a little bit sort of disappointed in your efforts, or you lose a little bit of your sort of positivity, or you get a little bit negative that you might not get there. But I sort of continued on in and out of snowshoes again. There was areas where there was huge snow drift and it was just snowshoeing uphill for a mile or two, and then other areas where it was really good. But it sort of just kept going, and then the evening came along, and then one of the mushers told us that around about 5 miles ahead, the trail hit the mining road and the going is really easy. So we sort of hit that at around about 5 miles. The temperature really started to drop by this point, and then just pushed on as quick as I could. So again, there was a lot of climbing, there was a lot of snowdrift, and the going wasn't as good as it could be. But then we got to around about the 40 mile mark, and there was no sign of anything there. And then we sort of got to 41 and there was no sign of anything there, and we sort of kept going, got to midnight, got to 12:30, and I was getting really tired and I didn't want to chase ground. So at about 1 o'clock we kind of made the call again, there was a couple of us together, to bivvy where we were and then push on in the morning rather than chasing ground. So we kind of found a spot that was out of the wind, had a little bit of shelter, bought a little bit of water, had a meal there because we sort of pushed through dinner, set ourselves up, and then sort of got our heads down, and then sort of got as much rest as we could because we knew we had another 30 miles, 35 miles till we hit Ruby. So I was setting up to get a better next day rather than continue to push to try and get some sort of shelter, or to try and just make our sleep a little bit more comfortable. So kind of called it there. Overall, did around 40 miles that day. Not too bad. It's kind of about the average that I want, but it sort of set me up to get into Ruby at a pretty good time the next day.